The following is a production of the Averett Sports Network.
And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm John Matriciano, joined by our Assistant Sports Information Director, Davin Wilson, and we have Averett Cougar basketball for you, men's basketball, that is. It is the Averett University Cougars versus the visiting team, William Peace Pacers, and it is the first time these teams are facing since that decisive night almost a year ago when the Averett University Cougars won the regular season conference title against the Pacers right here in this building. I'm here with Davin Wilson. Davin, you remember that night as much as I do, right?
I do, and it was a heck of a game, and really expecting another heck of a contest here tonight. William Peace comes in, graduating a couple of those key players from that roster last year, but they were still returning quite a few impactful players. Nate Strother, Chris Thomas, Dakota King, those Terry Rogers, those three guys right there will look to lead the Pacers tonight.
Absolutely, and we know the Averett University Cougars coming off a big win against Greensboro last Saturday. Definitely, I was not here for that game, but I know you were. I think we saw what it meant to the team, though, to get that win after losing that buzzer beater down in North Carolina Wesleyan, and it was probably a big wake-up call for the Cougars, knowing that, the conference has started, we got to wake up, or it's going to be a long season from here, Davin.
It really is, and I think, they really bounced back. We saw them go down early in the first half, but they ended up coming together, put together, I believe, an 8-0 run to close off the first half, and then, to tie it up, and then they just opened up the second half strong. I believe they held the Pride without a basket for 6 minutes, so really just an impressive defensive effort from the Cougars, and that led them to the victory.
Right, and definitely talking about earlier about how William Peace isn't the same team as it was last year. They're coming into this game losing 5 in a row, especially losing to conference opponent Piedmont College last Saturday, an opponent that Averett will be looking forward to this Saturday. And definitely they could probably range themselves on where they'll be against Piedmont, judging on how well they'll do tonight against conference. But it's definitely, you're right, losing some key seniors that were a big part of this Peace Pacer team last year. And obviously our Averett Cougars lost 2 important players as well, but they kept the majority of the players that were part of that championship team, Davin.
They did, and, having Trevor West back, having Bradley Robinson, having James Contreras come back, so many key pieces of the Cougars' success last year back. And, one person that I've been very impressed with their play ever since the Cougars have come back from break is senior point guard Devontae Pinnell. Matched his career high in points with 12 against Greensboro the other night, and has really been a big force under the boards for Averett, and has also been a big force on defense, and has really been able to knock down some big threes that have helped spark Cougar runs that have helped them gain control of games.
And, of course, obviously the threes are a big reason to this game. And now, even if they don't go in, they always have big Carter Jones or Charles Bryant to get the rebound. But looking at this series, ever since William Peace came into the conference and even became a co-ed school, Averett has been 2-2 against them all time. Obviously, one of those wins was the big decider last year when, folks, basketball just came near us. One of the last game was the big decider last year, as we were talking about. And this is definitely one of the matchups that we've been looking at. William Peace is coming in and with the chip on their shoulder, and Averett's definitely going to not sleep on this one because, this was a big game last year, and now it's an even bigger game this year as we're just starting the conference.
And you're right. And I think both teams, neither team exactly, of course, Averett coming in with the 1-1 conference start, so not a bad start for them, but I think Peace will definitely be will be itching to get that first conference win, and really, given the fact that I believe they have lost both conference games by an average of 4.5 points, they will definitely be looking to pick up that first win and get a little revenge from the loss here at Danville last year. But we also only had the one loss at home this year, and that was to Lynchburg College.
Right.
So, we're definitely we're playing well at home. And I think with having the students back, I think that will get this place pretty loud and hype.
Yep, this is the first day of school for Averett University as everyone just came back for classes on the first day, and we're hoping to have a very good crowd tonight as they're very familiar with the William Peace Pacers as we are. But we're going to take a short break here, and when we come back, we're going to have your Big Sky Reynolds breakdown. So stay tuned, folks. And welcome back to the Grant Center here. I'm John Matriciano, joined by the Assistant Sports Information Director, Davin Wilson, and the Averett University Cougars and Pacers have just took the floor for the last time before tip-off. And we're going to move right into our breakdown, Big Sky Rentals breakdown. Stressed out over planning a wedding or hosting a special event? Need rental equipment for that construction or landscaping project you wanted to start? Then go see the folks down at Big Sky Rents and Events, who remind you that their inventory really is as big as the Montana sky. Davin, let's look at some of the stats from the Greensboro game. Obviously, we were talking about Devontae Pinnell and his big career points again. His career tying points in that game. He tied his career points and is looking to obviously pass it today or continue to move on from it, because he is starting to becoming a threat slowly but surely in Coach Duino's offense here. And also looking at Carter Jones, another record breaker, had a career-high 5 steals against Greensboro. So we look to see him on the defensive board taking the ball away in the middle of the paint. Who else do you look at, Davin, coming into this game?
Well, I'm really looking at Charles Bryant, too. You know, Charles Bryant's the type of player with the way that he can shoot and his tenacity under the boards, he can easily pull down a double-double every single night. Already has pulled down 4 double-doubles so far this season, and coming off a 19-point performance and I believe 9 rebounds against Greensboro. So he's got a lot of potential there. Austin DeLucia, number 30, also very, very key player here. And, you know, one player that I was very impressed with the other night was the freshman Cameron May. You know, Cameron really came out, got some big threes, got some big shots to really to jumpstart this offense and really get them going there at the end of the first half.
Right, and we're definitely going to look at that freshman quality that comes in, because we know that Averett will be losing a lot of seniors this year, so it's good to look towards the future early, as Coach Duino is doing. But definitely we are right that we do have a very good offense and defensive powerhouse here in the USA South, and we're lucky that we're the hometown team for them. But in the end, you know, it's going to be a good contest between either team, and we both look forward and both hope for a good game either way. But knowing that, I also look at some good offensive players. I think you mentioned, I don't know if you did, James Contreras leading the point guards system as it is now. Sometimes you look at Trevor West to lead it, but I know James Contreras coming in as a freshman and starting as a freshman, and he definitely has come in and still has secluded that spot for sophomore year, and it looks like they're going with him for the rest of the year and probably for the future. So it's gonna be good to see what else they use in that arsenal, I want to say, for this Averett Cougar team. But it looks like they've had some success, and it looks like they have been doing well right now, and it looks like we're almost ready for tip-off. But Davin, I do believe that Averett has been having a good year and will continue to have a good year with what we talked about earlier.
Yeah, I think they will, and really the Cougars are set up to make another run at the championship here this year, regular season championship. And, you know, just talking with Coach Duino and Coach Gargangas and Coach Snow at the beginning of the year, and really there's a lot of optimism towards this team's chances of making the tournament, and not only making and winning a conference championship, but also making an appearance in the NCAA tournament. So they have all the ingredients there with their starting 5 back, and, you know, a couple of key players coming in off the bench for them. So the potential is there if they can just come out and play hard every night and keep the level of intensity up no matter who they're playing. I think we will be hosting the USA South tournament here again this year at the Grant Center.
Right, and I agree with you, and it looks like the clock has hit 0, and we're about to start. Folks, we thank you for joining us on the Daily 7 pregame show, and we're going to welcome you. We're going to turn you over to our PA announcer, Jay Stevens, for the starting lineups and your national anthem, so stay tuned.
University, taking on your Cougars from Averett University. Now, ladies and gentlemen, to honor America, please rise to the playing of our national anthem.
Angie's got shirts to call out tonight, so they have a dead ball opportunity or timeout or something before the half. Let's go ahead.
All right. If I forget, remind me.
All right, yeah.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's introduce our starting lineups for this evening's game. First, the visiting Pacers. At guard, a senior from Durham, North Carolina, number 3, Terry Rogers. At guard, a freshman from Beaufort, North Carolina, number 22, Sam Johnson. At forward, a junior from Holly Springs, North Carolina, number 24, Chris Thomas. At guard, a senior from Wilson, North Carolina, number 32, Nate Strother. And at forward, a freshman from Elton, North Carolina, number 40, Dakota King. The assistant coaches for the Pacers are John Bunch and Justin Penny. Head coach for the Pacers is Claude Shields. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to introduce our starters for your Cougars of Averett University. At guard, a sophomore from Virginia Beach, Virginia, he wears number 10, James Gondras. At guard, a senior from Raleigh, North Carolina, number 13, Trevor West. At guard, a senior from Baltimore, Maryland, number 15, Bradley Robinson. At guard, a junior from Jarrett, Virginia, number 35, Charles Bryant. And at center, a senior from Mooresville, North Carolina, number 50, Carter Jones. The head coach for Averett is Denton Duino. He's assisted by Cornelius Snow and David Gerganis. Men's Averett University, USA South.
When they get to the ball, don't forget about the
And we welcome you back here to the Grand Center as we're just about to tip off. If you did not hear your starting lineup, it is for Averett, James Contreras Jr., 13, Trevor West, 15, Bradley Robinson, 35, Charles Bryant, and 50, Carter Jones. For the William Peace Pacers, it's going to be number 3, Terry Rogers, 22, Sam Johnson, 24, Chris Thomas, 32, Nate Strother, and 40, Dakota King. Well, just before tip-off, Devin, I think we see some familiarity seeing some replacements for William Peace, but also noticing Nate Strother and Chris Thomas. They were some big names for the Pacers last year, so this will be a good one here.
They were, and looking at the two of them, Strother came in with the game against Piedmont, 12 points, and Thomas also had 13. So both leading scorers there for the Pacers in that game, and we'll see if how much success Averett has at shutting them down tonight.
All right, and Averett wins the tip-off here as it's Carter Jones working on number 40. That's Dakota King. And Chris Thomas comes up with the rebound on the floor. No bucket for the Cougars early. It'll be Pacer ball coming down the court. We would like to remind you that Averett Women's are at Mary Baldwin this evening, and we will give you live updates as much as we can, as this is going to be the first foul of the game. It's going to be on number 50, Carter Jones, going to be on the floor, and it's going to be a foul for William Peace.
And, Carter Jones, such a big presence out there, and is really just is so tough on defense and really great at getting down in the post and not only getting rebounds, but his back-to-the-basket game is ridiculous and has turned into a very good shooter as well. So.
And collided with the young Terry Rogers there, the senior guard from Durham, North Carolina. Nearly clotheslined him. As this is now Sam Johnson with the ball back to Rogers. Gives it to King at the top of the key. 12 seconds on the shot clock.
And William Peace being very patient here, trying to find that high percentage shot, and they'll get it for the first point of the game.
Great drive there by Rogers.
And West now with the opportunity, calling the play here.
And we got to travel on Jones. Rough start for him here early on, but we're going to see that matchup all night to see how Jones works with the King down low. It's going to be a good battle. Two big men going at it.
And I think that will tell the story right there of who has the success in this ball game, the battle of the post. And, Averett definitely a team that's built to get the ball inside, play tough defense, and get the rebounds and not give teams second opportunities.
All right, this is Rogers now running the offense, looking to lead it as King is going to take a three. And that is now a big lead here for the Pacers as they're starting out early here. Trevor West bringing up the ball over to Bryant now. Gives it over to Robinson. Robinson working on Strother. Back out to Carter Jones. To Contreras, to Jones. Jones with the spin move and in for two.
And John, as we were talking about earlier, Jones just with that ability to be able to, with his back to the basket, to be able to spin, pivot, get the shot in there and square his body up, and that's something he's worked very hard on and gotten a lot better at.
And it's a great move, and it looks like they're taking Carter Jones out of this game by bringing him Dakota King up top and making him covering him up top. That was Terry Rogers for another layup in for two.
Well, with these teams being so familiar with each other like they are, they're each going to know how to key in on each other's strengths and try to take those away. And Contreras with the drive.
Another good spin move there, but couldn't come up with the bucket as it's now going to be Johnson coming down the court. He'll take it himself, working on West. Didn't get a shot off to Struthers. Struthers will drive for two, and that's good.
And, we've seen Averett get off to a couple of slow starts here in their last couple of games, but much more of a second-half team. And, the game against Greensboro the other night, they trailed by as many as 10 early on and managed to come back. So definitely can't ever count Averett out.
And it looks like it was Jones with the shot there for the good layup. It looks like Trevor lost it, and Jones picked it up for two. But you can tell by this quick-paced battle already, you can tell that has been history with these two teams. As this is Strother to bring it in. He'll go up for two, and that's swatted away by Robinson from behind.
And that's one thing that Averett has been able to really excel at here over the last two games, forcing a lot of turnovers and getting the ball into their hands and really being able to capitalize on those opportunities.
And it's going to be number 15 from William Peace, Jalen Vince. We remember him as well from last year.
We sure do. And, Peace is really a team that you look at their record, 5-8, 0-2 in the conference, and they're one of those teams that you can't look and say, you can't judge them on paper or just looking at their record because they are a lot tougher than what their record might suggest.
And a quick end-to-end play as no baskets resulted as this is now Strother for two.
And William Peace really determined here, getting the ball early, driving in and getting those high percentage shots, and it's worked out for him so well so far tonight.
This is Kettner up top, recently checked in for the Cougars. West now with the ball. Vince working on him very tightly. Into Robinson. He'll put it up for two. Hits the front rim and off. Rebounded by number 11, Tyquan Nolan, and Nolan will bring it up himself. Gives it over to Vince to Strother, open in the corner for three. Drops that. And all of a sudden, William Peace is up by 10, 5 minutes into the first half.
Well, in a similar start, like we were talking about earlier, similar start to the Greensboro game the other day, and maybe this will. And Kettner coming down with the basket.
Unfortunately, it was two as his foot was on the line, but cuts the lead to 8. As this is Vince working on Contreras. Gives it out to number 13, Ryan Emfiger.
And, Kettner has really been he's been another big factor coming off the bench here for the Cougars this year. And, really been able to get some points and help his team along.
Strong collision there between Strother and Kettner. There's 4 seconds on the shot clock. Number 11, Tyquan Nolan puts it up, and this is now West to get the ball. Looking to take it himself. Can't find anything. Pushes it back out to Contreras, who will drive, put it up for two. And it looks like Contreras is going to draw the charging foul there.
And we have our first media timeout here on the court.
We're going to take our first media timeout here. We will be right back. William Peace on top of this one early, 14-6. welcome back here to the Grand Center. Averett on top, Averett on the bottom of this one, 14-6 now. It's just going to be Jalen Vince to bring it up for the Pacers after that questionable charging foul against Peace committed by Contreras. This is going to be Vince to drive for two, and he's good.
And this Pacer team has come out committed tonight, and they're playing strong basketball here so far. As we were talking about the break, 70% from the field early on and 66.7 from beyond the arc.
And it's just Pacer good defense out there holding up the Cougars from getting anything down low. They virtually took Jones out of this game, and now he's on the bench right now thinking about how he's going to work against King as West's shot is off and rebounded by number 22, Sam Johnson. Vince up the court now, gives it over to Nolan. Big shot by Johnson, and that's good for three.
And I think one of the keys that we've seen here so far with Averett in the zone right now and just really not able to get those offensive rebounds and giving Peace too many second chance opportunities here.
And West losing the ball over there. West losing the ball, and Vince going down the court taking it himself. As this is Jacoby Hawkins for three. Doesn't get it. Rebounded by Nolan yet again. This is now Johnson. A drive by Emfinger, not good. And no one's getting the ball there as Emfinger keeps it in. Johnson will put it up for three, and that's good.
And so Averett down here early by 18. I believe this is their biggest deficit so far of the season. And really, besides the Virginia Wesleyan game, and Averett reeling a little bit right now.
And it is not good right now as Averett, like you said, we're trailing 18 points, 24-6. It's going to be a 30-second timeout, so we're going to keep it right here. Hopefully Duino can strike up the fire that the Cougars need to get out of this one right now. But looking at some of the individual stats, I say it's all Pacers right now on top, as already Nate Strother with 7 points, Dakota King with 3, Sam Johnson with 2 big threes. He's at 6. Terry Rogers with 4, and Jalen Vince with 4. But the defensive pressure is absolutely ridiculous on the Cougars right now. We saw West lose the ball there to Vince, and Vince drive down the court and just put it up for 2. But Averett's got to find a way to get inside, and it looks like Jones is coming back in, and freshman number 11, TJ McAllister, is also checking in. And looks like Davis Absher, number 5, of another senior, checking in for the Cougars. Duino's trying to find something to get by the Pacers here. And it's going to be Pinnell to lead the offense as West gets taken out.
Well, this is one thing that we've seen from a lot of teams early on here in this season, especially in conference play. Teams coming out and taking away the inside game from the Cougars and really forcing them to take outside shots, which is not normally our strongest suit.
And it looks like the call is going to be, and a little confusion on the call right now. It was a travel with Thomas on the floor trying to get up. And it's going to be Absher to give it in.
And you see this.
Finds Jones. Jones turns and shoots, and that's good.
And we're talking about that tough Pacer defense here so far, and we're seeing a little man-to-man action there on the inbound, and really Absher lucky to get that off by 5 seconds.
And Absher a millisecond off from getting called there, it seemed like. This is Thomas working against number 30, Austin DeLucia, but it's taken away by McAllister now.
And, you know, McAllister, they got McAllister into the game. They got Cameron Mays, Sadiq Johnson, and the three of them really helped get this Averett team started, and it's going to be a foul on the Cougars.
It's going to be on Pinnell, who was on a 2-on-1 and jumped up as high as he could to stop it, but the basket's going to count. It's going to be a three-point opportunity for the Pacers here.
And we see Charles Bryant coming back into the game here, and Austin DeLucia coming out.
I'm thinking the Cougars need to settle down here early as they're trying to get the hype of how big of a game this was almost, I want to say 12, almost 11, 10 months ago. And now with everyone back and the big crowds that they're not used to from the winter break, it's just big, as number 15, I believe, was Vince, who missed its free throw. And this is going to be Absher. Absher with a drive. Getting pushed around all over there. Throws it to McAllister now. McAllister looking for Pennell, and Pennell slowed things down, looking for Sun to open up. Pennell with a drive, gives it to Absher, and he walked. And it's going to be Peace ball. And it looks like we're going to have another media timeout here with 11:47 to play. Peace still on top of this one, 26-8. We will be right back. And welcome back to this one here in the Grand Center. I'm John Matriciano, joined by our Assistant Sports Information Director. And William Peace all over the Cougars right now, 26-8. Not looking good early for the Cougars.
And Peace just has come out here on a mission, and they are determined to avenge that loss from last year that ended their regular season USA South Conference hopes. And, you know, Coach Claude Shields, the USA South Conference Coach of the Year last year, so he has done a great thing here in his time with the Pacers.
And the Cougars had a 4-on-2, and Pennell threw it away to a returning Struthers, and he's going to drive for two and score.
And now a 20-point William Peace lead, and this is by far the Cougars' biggest first-half deficit of the year, and they've got a little work ahead of them.
And Bryant's going to shoot for two, and that'll start to cut it down.
And now the Cougars have got to get a stop on the defensive end and have got to grab the board and get back down here and hope they can start a little run here.
And that's number 40 wide open down low, unable to get it. And it looks like Bryant's going to draw the foul. That was number 40, Dakota King, down low. Didn't get his shot to go in, but Charles Bryant able to draw the foul there. It's going to be on number 40, Dakota King, going up for the rebound there. It's going to be Pennell to bring it up for the Cougars. Robinson and Contreras and West all check back in for the Cougars, hoping to get something going here. Pennell gives it over to Bryant now. Bryant working on Thomas. He'll take another two. Ungood. Now it's Contreras with the ball. New shot clock. Pennell looking for a fake shot. Didn't get it. Now West working on the Pacer defense. Gives it over to Pennell. Pennell put up a three. Off the back rim and out. Rebounded by number 13, Ryan Emfinger.
And that's been the big factor here so far. Peace really coming down and being able to get those boards and not giving Averett second opportunities.
And it looks like we're going to have a foul on Charles Bryant. He went up against Dakota King and lost. But Dakota King wasn't able to make the shot, so he'll earn his payday at the charity line.
And Dakota King comes into this game averaging 6.5 points, 4.2 rebounds per game in 20 minutes average. So definitely a big key of this Peace offense. And King will go back to the line here for his second shot. And if he gets it, it will push the Pacers' lead out to 20 at 30-10, just about halfway through the first half. And Bryant coming down with the board, hands it off to West.
There comes West to Robinson, over to Bryant, gives it to Pennell now. Pennell gives it to Bryant, working on King. He'll turn and shoot, none good. And that was a big shot by West. No foul is called, but the ref will hold up play just so the team can get up. The basket is good, but the foul was not called after some serious contact there. Duino wanted something on that. And we knew it's going to be a physical battle out here, and both coaches wanted a call there, unable to get it. And now also into the game, number 22. That is Sadiq Johnson.
And Johnson, one of the ones that really kick-started the Cougars the other night in the game against Greensboro and really helped them claw their way back into this one, and hope they'll be able to do it again. And William Peace commits a turnover there.
Yep, big turnover thrown away by Rogers. And like you were saying, looking for that freshman authority to help get the Cougars going, but they still have the other 4 starters out there besides Carter Jones. This is going to be Contreras to Bryant. Bryant faking everyone up, and he's going to be rejected by Thomas going up for it, but gets his own rebound. Contreras working with a 10-second shot clock. Will drive. Goes up with it. Does not fall, but does draw the foul.
So Contreras will now go to the line for 2 shots. And a chance to get the Cougars within 15 here if he can convert both of these attempts from the charity stripe.
The foul was on number 3 of William Peace, Terry Rogers. And Contreras is good on his first one there. Contreras being a 40 of 52 free thrower, 769% on the year. Very good numbers from him.
And, you know,
This
Contreras,
is the back when they're rebounded by Robinson.
Contreras really puts in a lot of work here.
Robinson puts it up, rebounded by Johnson. And they're saying Johnson hit it out of bounds before a Peace player recovered it, so it's going to be Peace to get the ball, and it looks like we're going to have some fast break defense here by the Cougars. So West covering Rogers early on here in his own half court. Rogers brings it across, gives it over to Strother now. Strother will take it himself, can't find anything. Gives over to Rogers. Over to Nolan now. Nolan finds Johnson on the back. Can't get it off the back rim. Rebounded by Strother. New shot clock for the Pacers.
And William Peace again coming down with a big rebound right there. The Cougars could have grabbed that one, could have gotten back down in transition and cut into their deficit a little bit. And Johnson coming up with a big steal.
Gives it over to Contreras.
Contreras.
And Contreras has it now. Gives it over to West. Looking for something to open up. Gives it to Robinson. Robinson draws the push. It's going to be on number 11, Tyquan Nolan, his first of the contest. Peace's third.
And so it'll be Johnson on the inbound for the Cougars.
And it's going to be King to check in for Nolan here. And it wasn't a shooting foul, so it'll be on the floor. This is going to be Johnson to check it in for the Cougars. Here comes West. West with a drive, looking for something to open up. Tries to get it in, rebounded by Bryant. Bryant will go up for 2, and that's good.
And Charles Bryant, just one of the hardest, gives some of the best effort that you can ask for out here on the court. And he's definitely not at the top of the Cougars talent list, but he definitely gives the hardest effort and is a potential impact player every game.
And it looks like number 22, Sadiq Johnson, drew his first foul. And we're going to have a full timeout here, so we're going to take a quick break. William Peace still on top of this one, 29-15. We will be right back. Welcome back here. We had a full timeout. We're still getting word on who took it. But right now it's over, and Strother is going to take it in for the Pacers. Finds Vince in the backcourt, and he's met by Johnson. Gets around Johnson easily, though. Throws it over to Enfinger, and it's over the rim.
So, John, we were talking about the break. Nearly 4 minutes since William Peace has got in the basket, and the Cougars have scored 5 and have gotten this back into to somewhat of a reachable game here at 29-15.
It's going to be Thomas to King working against Johnson. And good defense by Johnson working against King. Now Johnson will bring it up. Gives it over to West now. West drives against Strother. The spin and in. And he will be fouled for the three-point opportunity.
And that it has been that type of season so far for Averett. Is, you know, if they fall down behind early, they get little 3-4 point plays here and allow them to inch their way back in the game. And Averett really has stepped up their presence underneath the board here, especially on the defensive end, and has helped them get back into this one.
And West is no good from the charity stripe, but it'll be Vince to bring it up for the Pacers. Driving, rejected by Johnson. And we have a jump ball, going to remain Pacer ball. But Johnson coming into the game and being the difference maker for this Cougar team.
And so it'll be number 15, Jalen Vince, on the rebound, this 6'1" guard out of Fayetteville, North Carolina.
Intercepted by Bryant, looked like a cornerback on that one. And gives it over to Contreras now to run the offense. To Johnson in the corner, up to Robinson now. Robinson with the fake shot. We'll drive, we'll shoot, and it's too low. Johnson keeps it. We have 2 Johnsons on the court, 1 for Peace, 1 for Averett. This is Strother now, and Strother's rejected to not go in. Bryant throws up to Robinson. Robinson looking for West, back to West. To Bryant. Bryant will pull up a 3. No good. But Robinson looking for the tip. Can't find it. And Bryant covering closely, and he's going to get called for the foul.
And so Averett has gotten this back down within 12 points. Still got a long way to go, but William Peace still having trouble finding the hoop after they started off so strong and have not found the bottom of the net now in close to 5 minutes here. So Averett just not able to answer back on their end, and it remains a 29-17 William Peace lead.
And Pinnell and DeLucia and Jones all check back in for the Cougars now. Hoping to get something out of this, but for Peace, number 25 also checks in, Samuel Arnold.
And it's going to be a foul on number 25, Samuel Arnold. Excuse me. The freshman forward out of Snow Camp, North Carolina, standing in at 6'6", provides the Pacers with a lot of size.
Yes, they do, and they've always been a team with some tall gentlemen out there, and also Averett also having tall gentlemen, so that's what makes it a very even contest right now. But the score would say otherwise right now with the impressive shooting by the Pacers and defense. They definitely came in wanting this one.
They did, and really have come in and done a great job with rebounds, too. I know that's one thing that I've talked about all night, but Averett really thrives on 2 things, playing good defense and getting rebounds. And right now, one of those 2 is missing, but a lot of time for the Cougars to make it up, John.
Now it's going to be Jones to work on King. Jones gets it in, and he's good for 2.
This is not a Cougar team that will go down lightly.
No.
And really, the game against Greensboro, they really started putting it together there towards the middle of the first period, and hopefully we'll see the same result here tonight.
Carter Jones with a team high 8 points on the night so far, hoping to keep battling back here as they cut the lead to 10. This is Vince for 2, does not fall, rebounded by Jones, chucks it up to Contreras now. Contreras will move the ball on to Pinnell. Back over to Contreras to DeLucia for 3. And that's good!
So Averett has now answered back with a 12-0 run to get the deficit down to 7. Now with the bucket, it's now 9. But Averett really done a big job here lately, and it looks like.
And a big basket there by King right before the timeout. But we're going to have a 30-second timeout called by the Pacers, so we're going to keep it right here. Well, Carter Jones having the 8 points. Sorry about that, Devin. But going to the other side, Strother's now leading the pack with 9 for the Pacers. And looking at some of the team stats, I'd say the turnover game has been big here early on.
And right now, each team with 6 turnovers, so both of them even. It's just a few of the ones from William Peace have been more dead ball turnovers, traveling, things like that. And so we'll have to see if the Cougars can force a few more steals and bad passes and stuff like that, and really kind of make the Pacers pay in transition.
Right. And William Peace with a 50% free field goal percentage, along with Cougars having a 38.5 percentage, looking to change that now as Trevor West goes up, and that'll fall in for 2. But we do have a foul here, so we don't know if the basket's going to be good.
And it looks like it was a block.
The basket's going to be good. And it's going to be 24 with a push after the play. So the basket's good, but they're not going to get a free throw attempt for it. They're going to take it from underneath. And this is West working on Emfinger, and he's good for 2. All of a sudden, we have a 5-point ball game.
And John, Averett they never hang their heads.
No, they don't. They surge. They never go on cruise. They just push.
And I think sometimes when they play at home, they have a tendency to maybe come out a little timid, a little nervous, but they always pick it up. And Pennell, I tell you, Pennell has been such a big player here for Averett here in the past 4 or 5 games, and continuing that presence tonight.
And West is going to draw the foul there. Official saying it'll be on number 13, Ryan Emfinger, his first of the night. 8th for the Pacers. And we're going to have a full timeout called by the Pacers. William Peace still leads this one, but just by 5 at a 31-26. We will be right back. We welcome you back to the Grand Center, where West just earned 2 shots here. 5-point ball game for the Cougars as he misses his first one.
And John, looking here at this, the stats over the past 8 minutes or so, Averett on a 16-2 run right now that has allowed them to get this game within a couple of possessions.
And that is definitely something they needed before the halftime here. So it has been a very eventful first half. And what would you expect anything less with the 2 title contenders of last year?
I tell you, as soon as Saturday's game was over, I was counting down for this one tonight.
Absolutely. And this is Rogers working on Pinnell, and they held him. And looks like some extra seconds ticked off the shot clock there. We would like to remind you that the backcourt violation does not reset when it goes out of bounds. The shot clock is the 10-second rule for the Pacers to get the ball over the court, and they have 4 seconds. And Thomas gets through, and he'll drive. And Pinnell, standing up against him, will draw the foul. The basket's good, and the foul will be on number 3, Devontae Pinnell. His second foul of the contest, Averett's 7th. So all fouls are going to be 1-and-1 opportunities for both teams. And Thomas misses. And it's going to be off to Lucia, and it'll stay Pacer ball.
And 31-29 game, 33-27 game, excuse me. Here, 3:40 left in the first period.
It's going to be King, Bryant defending. Now Rogers at the top of the key, and he'll reset the offense. Puts it into Thomas now. Gives it over to Rogers. Rogers driving against Pinnell, loses it. And looked like Pinnell hit it away, but it hit Rogers last, so it'll be Cougar ball going the other way.
And there's that defensive effort we were talking about. Pinnell is definitely never going to be one of the tallest guys on the court, but he is definitely the scrappiest, and really has just this season has been huge off the bench for the Cougars.
Yep. He's a small guy, and he likes to play down low. If there's something on the ground, you can definitely know he's going in for it like a fumble.
And, you know, he hit a very long three here late in the game against Greensboro that really helped the Cougars start pulling away from the Pride in that game on Sunday.
Absolutely.
Or Saturday, excuse me.
And he tied his career points, as we talked about early on. This is now Jones with the ball. He'll start dribbling, loses it. King will take it, and he's good for 2.
And nice little finger roll there by King. He went across his body on that, and got to give him props on that shot.
Right. And this is now Trevor West up top with the ball. Gives it over to Jones, to Robinson. Robinson looking for Sun to open up. Jones guarded closely by King. Jones with his spin move and in for 2. He does it so well. He
really does. And, you know, I was talking with Coach Duino before the season, asked him to give me a few quotes on Carter Jones, and, you know, his improved shooting abilities was one thing that Duino kept talking about, and he knows the system that the Cougars run, and he knows what they've got to do to be successful.
As Thomas will take a deep 3, and it'll go. The Pacers looking to get back up by 10 before the half. This is Pinnell working against Rogers, gives it over to Jones. Jones will go up for 2, and that's good.
And Jones with career-high 5 steals in the Greensboro game, including one that really helped the Cougars tie the game up going into the break.
This is King at the top of the court. Over to Rogers, covered by DeLucia. Rogers with some fancy footwork will put it up for 2, does not fall. Thomas, 2 rebounds, still doesn't fall. And now Pinnell will work it up. And here comes West, gives it to Robinson. Robinson pushed back, nothing called. And this is West now in the corner, gives it over to Robinson. Robinson looking to turn. And it looks like we're going to have another foul here. It'll be on number 3, Terry Rogers.
So both teams in the bonus right now, and as you mentioned earlier, John, automatic 1-for-1s.
These are the ones you have to make, otherwise we got live play.
That's it, and especially Averett struggling a little bit to get rebounds here so far in this game, so definitely would be huge for Robinson to hit both of these shots.
Robinson Very good free throw shooter.
Shooting 72.5%.
And Jones with the one-handed rebound. Earned the jump ball, and it's going to stay Cougar possession. Looking like Odell Beckham out there, Carter Jones. He probably won't like that reference because he's a Redskin fan, but I had to make it.
And Pinnell is going to be on the inbound on this one.
And Jones being on the ground, he is a very, can perspire more than the usual being, as he's told me. That's from his words. Have to mop up the court.
And, you know, they've talked about it quite a bit. You know, CJ's talked with us about it. You know, they have to keep the extra practice jersey for him.
Yeah, he sweats a lot.
And he said his brother sweats even more than he does,
Oh,
so I can only imagine.
Must be a thing in the Jones family.
Well, when you come out there and you get the effort that Jones gives.
Oh, absolutely. You know, he earns it. He earns every drop of it.
He does.
And this is now Robinson bringing the ball in. Gives it over to West, looking for something to open up. Pinnell on the floor, did not see why. Robinson working on, and Robinson puts it up for 2, and that's good. Back to a 5-point ball game for the Cougars. This is Strother in the corner. Nolan at the top of the key.
And John, a funny stat, it was actually 38-38 that the game ended up being tied at the break. So with the foul, it looks like Peace will be able to get more than 38.
Right.
But very similar ball game to the type we had against Greensboro on Saturday.
And that foul will be on number 50, Carter Jones. Ref saying he threw an elbow there.
So Jones only his second foul of the evening. So if he can keep from getting one more for the half, he will feel pretty good about his opportunities going into the break.
That was Nolan with the shot and no good, and rebounded by Contreras. Contreras for 3, short, rebounded by Robinson. He'll put it back up, also short. The battle down low for the ball. And West collided with Nolan, and it's going to be another 1-for-1 down at the end of the court.
And it looked like Jones might have caught a shove to the back there going up for that rebound.
Those rebounds are very physical down low right now.
Well, that's the only way that you're going to be able to stop Jones is by going elbow to elbow, body to body with him. And otherwise, if you don't get in there and try to knock him off the ball, you're going to lose every time.
Well, we know that Averett's a very physical team on the court, but when these two teams collide, you always expect a physical battle, whether it's them, Greensboro, or Methodist. It's always a physical battle because they're very familiar opponents. As that was rebounded by Robinson, given up to West here. And West tries to force it in there, and it's going to be intercepted by Jalen Vince. And Vince stepped out of bounds, so West, no harm, no foul there.
So definitely a key turnover right there is William Peace was definitely headed back down the court in a quick transition there and possibly able to extend it back out to 7.
And Pinnell will pull up for a 3. No good off the back iron, and the shot clock's off. Johnson will hold it, give it over to Vince, and Vince will hold it for the last shot. And Vince starting to set up the play now. Gives it over to Johnson. Over to Nolan. Gives it over to Thomas, and Thomas will have the last shot of the half. No good. And that's how it'll end with Thomas's air ball. Your score at the half, William Peace on top, 38. Averett Cougars, 33. We're going to take a short break, but when we come back, we're going to have our Domino's Pizza halftime report. So stay tuned.
I'm going to go try to find KB.
And welcome back to the Grant Center. William Peace on top of this one, 38-33 against your Averett University Cougars. I'm joined this evening by Sports Information Director Assistant Davin Wilson. I keep thinking you're the Assistant Athletic Director. I know you want that job, but it's taken right now. But I'll give you the credit for trying, though.
It is, and it's a hard shoe to fill. Drew Wilson's, but we do the best we can to fill it. So
I understand that, and we're going to move right into our Buffalo Wild Wings halftime show. And obviously, early on, William Peace going up by 20 points there within, I want to say, 13 minutes, if not, and they were up by 10 within 5 minutes. They definitely came in wanting this one. Obviously, you could see the emotion from the Pacers as they are strictly remember this building as well as anyone could that was here that day last year when the Cougars won the championship for the South regular season. But looking at the numbers right now, the Cougars were able to storm back twice, bringing it to a 5-point game as it stands right now. And looking at some of the stats here, Carter Jones being the big name, he was virtually taken out of this game by the Pacers, and he definitely had to go sit on the bench a little bit, and Duino had to talk to him and be like, hey, you need to relax. You know, they're gonna be fighting in you. We're not gonna win a lot of battles in the paint, but the one we do, you take advantage of. And he has, with a 12 points in the first half to lead this Cougar offense right now. But definitely looking at that, the turnovers have been equal, 8 and 8. Davin, who have you liked out there?
Well, right now, I think one of the biggest things that I'm looking at right now is we talked about CJ with the 12 points, which is definitely going to be key, but CJ also has just been limited to 2 rebounds the whole entire game. So, that's very uncharacteristic for a big guy like CJ, and but that speaks to how well the Pacers are coming out here and limiting him.
Absolutely, and we know that the Pacers have always been a good team, and there's always been friction between these two teams as we see the physicality as they go up for every rebound, people hitting the floor and whatnot, and you just see it out there. And, you saw Rogers walking up there. West has been a little gimpy near the end of the first half, but as they just take the court here in the first half and for the second half. But you can see the passion and emotion, as you see with any sports teams when they play each other in conference, especially in college. You know that the rivalries are usually strong there. But we know that it's not going to be an easy game. Looking at some other things, the rebound game has obviously been more beneficial to Peace, getting 23, and the Cougars only able to get 21 altogether. But, it has been a rough game for the Cougars shooting, as their field goals has 15 of 34, 44.1%. A little more of a benefit for the Pacers, 48.5. They have been shooting well out there, the Pacers have, Gavin.
Well, they have, and one thing that has really helped us creep back into this game is the fact that I believe it was nearly 7 minutes we held William Peace without a basket, and we're able to build a little bit of a run during that period. But, John, I think you're right on the rebound thing, the rebound comment. Really, right now, 14 defensive boards compared to 15 for Peace. So that battle is pretty close. But normally when Averett is losing that battle under the boards, we are usually looking at the type of score that we're seeing right now with the Cougars trailing. But, really we saw a completely different Averett team come out in the second half against Greensboro, and I think we're going to see the same thing here tonight.
I absolutely agree with you. And one more thing I want to point out to you before we take another break for the second half. The Cougars have been they've been experimenting out there, I want to say. You saw earlier how things weren't working out, through Absher, and someone who doesn't get a lot of minutes, unfortunately. And you also saw Sadiq Johnson going in, and then you saw McAllister stepping in. And you just see that Duino, he doesn't have a set lineup every time. I'm not even too sure that the starters are going to start the second half right now with how well everyone else has been playing. He just keeps moving players around, trying to find that perfect fit right now. And, of course, early in the conference, obviously you want to have your team set by then, but it's never a bad time to, try and find the missing pieces, as William Peace has been exploiting those missing pieces.
They really have, and I think that just speaks to Duino and his coaching staff, their abilities to recruit. And
right.
They're able to get so many guys in here. Another guy who has not seen much playing time this year. He is a freshman, however, though. Malik Ford, and I think Malik Ford will definitely be big here moving forward. You spoke earlier about Sadiq Johnson. I think Johnson will also be key in the future. And, as well with Austin DeLucia. Austin DeLucia absolutely went off against Division II University of Wise. I believe he scored 16. And so, the Cougars have a lot of pieces.
Right, and they do. And real quick before the break, we'd like to remind you that the women have a game at Mary Baldwin. They are also in their halftime. They lead that one 55-19. Nail biter.
Really is. And, the women's team, they had the heartbreaking loss to Greensboro the other night, Friday night. Lost within the last 10 seconds on a long three-pointer. And really stormed back and on Sunday and beat a very good Ferrum team.
Absolutely, and they are going to be a team to watch as we move closer towards the madness. We will be right back for your second half. And we welcome you back here to the Grand Center. Both teams taking the court for the second half. Same starters as it was in the first half for this one. And it's going to be William Peace ball as they had the last possession before the half. And we are underway here in the second half. It's going to be Rogers for the Pacers. Averett stormed late in that second half, and they're hoping for something to keep storming on as they are moving ever closer to tying this one up. This is going to be Rogers from the corner. No good. Rebounded by Robinson. And let's see if the Cougars can get anything going on offense.
And Averett, one thing that we know has done over the course of the game, he has shifted the Cougars around to where they are able to get under the boards a little bit more and get those all-important rebounds. And that has definitely benefited Averett.
Absolutely. This is going to be Jones working on King. And he's going to get called for 3 seconds.
And really, William Peace doing a great job there of double teaming Jones and really taking away his ability to find players, and as a result gets hit for the 3-second zone violation.
And it's going to be Strother now working against Robinson. Now Thomas with the drive against Jones. No good. Rebounded by Robinson. And Jones got hit in the face, and he's walking slow. West is now blocked.
And one thing that I'm loving.
Jones is still something wrong with him.
It looks like he might have gotten poked in the eye.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's it. And the official has stopped play here. And he's got something going on with his eye. We'll check back on that soon, but it looks like Davis Absher is going to step in for the Cougars in his position.
And one thing that I've noticed as well that we didn't get a chance to talk about at the break, Bradley Robinson right now with 8 rebounds.
Yeah, he's definitely stepped up in the rebound game with Bryan and Jones not being up to par that they need to be for this Peace game.
And
that was Strother working on Absher. Thomas back to Strother. Strother for 3, no good. Absher unable to get the rebound, but will draw the foul.
And, Absher really one of an unsung player for the Cougars and doesn't necessarily see the most playing time in the world, but when he comes in, he makes it count. And he's able to draw the foul there to give the ball back to the Cougars, who trail by 5 with 18 minutes left in this contest.
That foul was on number 40, Dakota King, his first of the half, or his second of the half, the team's first of the half. And the ball's going to go up and out, and it's going to be Pacer ball here. No shots made by either team yet, already a minute and a half in.
And I think that speaks a lot to both teams' defensive efforts right now and really knowing where to key in and cut the other one down at.
This is Johnson inside to Thomas. Thomas pushing in. Blocked by Bryant. Out of bounds, and it'll stay Pacer ball.
And one thing that Bryant is so good at coming up with plays that really give his team momentum. And we saw it the other day. Came home with a huge dunk against Greensboro that ignited that late Cougar rally that helped them establish control in the game.
Yep. And looked like it was 5 seconds. Got it off a millisecond and threw it off the player.
And looks like it was kicked out of bounds by an Averett player. So,
and the ref is going to from what I heard correctly, a second came off the shot clock. And the ref said that if they cannot figure it out, they're going to give William Peace a brand new shot clock. And obviously the refs don't want any favoritism at the table here. We have to keep it a fair game for both teams, as it's going to be Rogers to bring it in. Rogers gets it over to Thomas, worked on Bryant. And Bryant goes up. Good block, but fouled. Had the push before the block. Charles Bryant playing a physical game out there, having 3 fouls.
And that's going to be something to keep an eye on as this game gets a little bit later, as Bryant is definitely a key factor to this Averett team on both ends of the court.
And first free throw shot good by Thomas. On good for the second one, rebounded by Absher. And here comes West to bring it up.
So looking at Thomas, he leads the team in scoring average with 13.2. Also leads the team in rebound average as well with 6.6. And leads the team in total average minutes played.
And West had loads of time there to make a 3, but unable as he hits the front bar. And it looks like we had a tie-up going for the rebound again. As Jones comes back in, good to see him healthy, and DeLucia as well.
It is, John. That's a huge piece of this Cougar team.
And it's going to be West to inbound it. Looks like the Pacers hit it out of bounds, and Jones will take it at the top of the key. Gives it over to West. To Robinson for three. No good off the right bar. And it'll go out of bounds. Pacer ball.
And only 1 point scored here in the first 2.5 minutes of this second half. So
obviously you can tell that both coaches talk about both coaches' word in the meetings were defense. It's got to be better. Because you saw the Peace Pacers, 20 points.
This has been a